Sand wars, David.
Sand wars? Like,
Sand wars, like wars. Yay!
Yep. Off the coast of Mumbai, hundreds of fishing ships are lined up end to end. They form a chain that extends out about a half a mile long. Men sail these ships out early to avoid detection, because not only what they're doing being illegal, but dangerous, because not all these men will return home today. These men used to be fishermen, but they realized they can make a lot more money free diving for ocean-dredged sand, a commodity that, because of human greed, has become a resource that's harder and harder to find. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and two guests. Outside of water and air, sand is the most consumed natural resource on Earth. It's estimated last year that we consumed 40 billion tons of sand. 40 billion tons! That's a lot of sand. And the reason we consume so much sand is because it's a common ingredient in a lot of things that we use today, like cell phones, in detergents, in cosmetics, in paints, in glass. But also we use a lot more of it in construction, like in concrete, for example. To give you a perception of what kind of sand we're talking about, it takes 200 tons of sand to build one house. 3,000 tons to build a hospital. 30,000 tons to build 1 mile of highway. It's pretty crazy, right? These stats may sound staggering, but imagine the amount of sand that we're using every day to build the massive cities that are going up in foreign countries like India and China, where large skyscrapers, major infrastructure built on billions and billions of tons of sand. Now what we build are not like human-sized sandcastles that you can just knock down and reuse when you're done with them. Once you convert sand into concrete, you can't use it again. And sand takes a long time to be manufactured organically. So we kind of are in a finite supply. But what about desert sand, right? We got a lot of deserts, a lot of sand out there. Well, it's completely useless in construction because it's so smooth. It's been wind blown all around. It's too smooth, it won't stick to the other pieces of sand in the concrete. Therefore, it's useless. So to get the sand we use today, we have to go to pretty vast extremes. Currently, as we speak, there's many boats, million-dollar boats, circling the globe right now, dredging the ocean for sand. They bring up big piles of sand and put them on barges and float those barges to foreign countries where people were begging for sand. It's pretty incredible, right? The import sand business is a $70 billion a year industry. And ironically, the Middle East, who has hundreds of miles of sand right at their fingertips, import billions of dollars worth of sand. Literally, Australia is selling sand to the Arabs. Because of all this dredging, there are significant environmental impacts and national conflicts that are ensuing right now. 25 Indonesian islands have disappeared. Let me say that again, in case you missed it. 25 islands, Tim, that you used to be able to see from space have completely disappeared. You say, well, how could that happen? But simple. 3 words. Singapore stole them. Sand isn't really traceable, but we assume, given the billions of barges that have floated from Indonesia to Singapore over the last 20 years and have expanded the coastline 40% over that time to expand their population and their economy, we know where it went. Singapore will probably continue to steal Indonesia's sand. Indonesia's not too happy about it. And in addition, Indonesia's coastline is being decimated by erosion. Every time you take sand from the ocean, other sand from the surface needs to kind of go down like a conveyor belt and fill down those holes. So Indonesia's coastline is getting wrecked. Anytime you have a untraceable, highly profitable industry, you get corruption, right? There's mafias set up that are feeding this business. The sailors we learned earlier in this talk, and rogue dredgers build up an infrastructure and network to provide these mafias with sand. And a lot of governments look the other way because they want to be flush with sand. They want to grow their economy, they want to increase their coastlines, they want to grow their GDP. They're in. That's a problem. Fellow Toastmasters, not only are we using way too much sand, but it's in a finite supply. And the environmental impacts are becoming irreplaceable. There's national conflicts, there's mafias, organizations that we're feeding and letting thrive. Clearly, we have a big addiction to sand. If we don't quit, there won't be any more sand for you